Hi, it's Mallory Strotheide, your favorite loan officer in Michigan, and I am here to educate you on all things mortgages. We are going to talk about navigating the mortgage maze in Michigan. So, I get a lot of questions on, hey, Mallory, I want to buy a house, but I don't know where to begin. And it's really, really important that when you are thinking about buying a house, that you know where to start, that you have your team in place and your ducks in a row, as they would say. So I always say, first and foremost, you need to figure out where you want to live, right? Do you want to live in the city? Do you want acreage? Do you want to live on a farm? Do you want to live in the suburbs? What area, what school district, if that's important to you, like you really need to dial in even before you meet with a realtor or a loan officer what you want because it doesn't do you any good to meet with somebody if you don't know. So I get a lot of people who do come to me first, which is great. I'm never going to shy away from helping anybody. But truly, before you meet with a loan officer and before you meet with a realtor, there's a lot of things that you should be thinking about. So I would say, first and foremost, figure out the location, figure out bedrooms, bathrooms, school districts, what you want in a house, what you're looking for. The next thing to keep in mind is that you should be thinking about your budget. You should absolutely 100% before you meet with a loan officer, before you meet with a realtor, have some kind of an idea of what you want in a monthly payment. You go into it and you're like, I like that house. It's $500,000. And then you find out the payment is $4,500 a month. You're setting yourself up for failure because if you can't afford that $4,500 a month payment, you're not going to be able to ever buy that house, right? So you've got to figure out what you want in a budget. I always look at rent. Like, what are you paying in rent? Is it comfortable for you? Could you go higher? Could you, is it too much? And you're like, hey, I really need a cheaper payment. Whatever that is for you, have some kind of a range in mind. Because, like I said, it's super important before you meet with anybody that you know what you want. You've got your budget, then you want to start forming your team. And your main teammates are going to be your realtor and your lender. So it is super important. I cannot stress this enough to have a realtor and a loan officer who know the market, know the area that you want to buy, and who can help you navigate that. I think, getting a referral from a trusted advisor, a family member, a friend is probably a little bit better way to go, but you really want to make sure that you are interviewing. So I would say, first and foremost, you should always get pre-approved first. I'm usually not the first call. Usually everybody sees the pretty house and they go to the realtor first. You should actually get pre-approved before you do anything. So I would say, interview lenders, figure out somebody that you're comfortable with who can walk you through that process and make sure that you are fully pre-approved, you know your program options, and that you are ready. Because the last thing that you want to do is find a house, put an offer in, get it accepted, pay for a home inspection, pay for an appraisal, maybe even, and find out that you don't qualify. I see a lot of lenders out there, especially online lenders, I'm not going to mention any names, that just spit out letters and that do not truly pre approve you. And that's dangerous. It can hurt you in the long run. So make sure you're meeting with somebody who you trust, who will go over everything with you and make sure that you are in the best program possible for you. Next, meet with realtors. I do suggest interviewing. You want to find somebody that you're really comfortable with, right? And find somebody that will work with you when you need to meet to see houses. There's a lot of realtors who only work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, but there's a lot of realtors who work weekends and who can work around your schedule and who will do evening showings. The other thing to keep in mind that I always say makes a really good realtor is you want a realtor that's going to be honest with you. You don't want a realtor that's going to try to push you into a sale. I always say, like, the sign of a good realtor is if you're in a showing and they're like, you know what, that roof has got a year left. You need to negotiate the roof into the purchase agreement or I wouldn't buy the house. It's really important that you're working with somebody who's just not trying to close a deal, that they're actually looking out for your best interest, that they're pointing things out to you, and that they're meeting with you and that they're going over everything with you before you even start looking at homes. Get your team in place, get a really good realtor, a really good lender, commit to working with them. That's super important. You need to pick one realtor, you need to pick one lender, and you need to do it before you start seeing houses and before you start making offers. That pre-approval letter is like your golden ticket, right? And you can make offers. If you look at a house and you're like, oh my gosh, I think I want to offer on this, what would a payment be on this? I can run that for you. Make sure that when you do go in that you're comfortable with it, that you feel good about your cash to close and about all of that. I spend a lot of time up front pre-approving you, and then your realtor is going to spend a lot of time showing you houses. Once you do find a house that you want to make an offer on, you're going to submit your offer with your pre-approval letter. I'm typically going to call the listing agent for you and I'm going to put in a good word to make sure that they know that you are fully pre-approved. We're a local lender. We'll get the job done and they'll accept the offer or they won't. Then, like I said, we're going to jump back into the mortgage side. And that's when we're truly going to get the mortgage process started. We're going to get, a loan application out to you. We're going to go over that with you. It's at that point that we lock in your interest rate. So we don't lock in your rate or do anything until you are under contract on a house. And then we're going to order your appraisal and you're going to have a home inspection. From there, we are going to submit your file to processing, get some more documents from you. We always need more documents. Submit your file to underwriting. And the underwriter is the person, it's not scary. They work at our company, they work right in our office. They're going to be the ones that's going to approve your file and approve your loan. And then once they approve it, we get the documents that they're requesting. We submit for what's called a clear to close. That clear to close is our green light to schedule your closing with the title company and to get you your final numbers and basically get everything in line and set for closing. So once we get that closing set, you're going to get those numbers. You're going to go to the bank. You're going to get a cashier's check and you're going to bring that to closing. You'll get your keys and we'll take pictures, we'll celebrate, and you will be a homeowner. So that was a very condensed, brief version of what it is and what the process looks like. But overall, from start to finish, that is what navigating the mortgage process and the home buying process in West Michigan looks like. A couple of things to keep in mind depending on where you're buying. Obviously, the market that you're buying in is extremely important, and that is going to be something that will determine how you write offers. And so that's why, again, it's really important to have your team in place because in West Michigan, for example, the market's really, really hot, right? We've got not enough inventory, a lot of people flocking here to move here. And you need to be aware of that. It's not as hot as it was 2 years ago. We don't see a ton of home buyers waiving home inspections anymore, which is a good thing. We aren't seeing a lot of appraisal gaps or appraisal guarantees anymore, which again is a good thing for you as a buyer, but there's still multiple offers on most properties. So just keep in mind, although it's cooled a little bit, there is still multiple offers. You still have to be competitive. There's still offer deadlines, and it's still important that, again, you're pre-approved before you see houses and that you have the right realtor and lender in place as your team. So if you have any more questions or want to learn more about navigating the home buying process in Michigan, be sure to subscribe to my channel or shoot me a DM on Instagram at Mortgages with Mallory. And be sure to share this video with anybody that you know that is looking to buy a home. Bye.